everyone, Lu here. You know, reviewing all these animated pieces has really made me want to talk about the elephant in the room for animation on YouTube, story animated videos. Roll the intro and let's get started. To start, what are story animated channels? Each one is a little different, but the basic concept is to make animated stories submitted by people online for whatever reason. There are some channels that are legit and tell genuinely very moving stories. Actually, just Story Booth tells genuinely truthful stories instead of these garbage channels. I actually really recommend Story Booth. Those peeps deserve some love. Anyway, let's go through some of the story channels and check to see how each one gets progressively worse as you dive further into this community. Now, Actually Happened shut down a while ago for unknown reasons. Some say it was super shady stuff like tax evasion. Considering a lot of these story animated channels are run by extremely shady companies, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. However, Actually Happened fans, I think, have started uploading their content. Contrary to the name, by the way, none of these stories actually happened. But I'll admit that the stories in this one are nowhere near as bad as other channels on this list. I mean, they're all pretty much impossible to exist without ending up on the news or just straight up not legally possible, but trust me when I say there's worse on the impossible scale. This one in particular, I actually liked. Basically, this girl was raised by her foster family for 6 years while her mom was in a coma. Her mom wakes up from the coma and basically has to be taken away from her adopted parents now. I mean, I don't know how her mom managed to stay in a coma for 6 years when there was literally no one there to pay the life support, but okay, I guess. She goes to live with her mom and she struggles to get along with her for the next decade. She says the usual, "I hate you" moments most teenagers have when they have a rocky relationship with their parents, and then some kind of lesson about opening your heart to new people or whatever. Then her mom lets her go visit her old home, and pretty much her foster dad died and her foster mom ran away. It's kind of like a closure thing for her, as she realizes she was mostly just looking back at her childhood with rose-tinted glasses. It ends with the usual "home is where the heart is" message. I don't know, I just liked this one. The writing wasn't that bad, and I actually really liked the art style they used. I think if they kept this writing and this art style, maybe change their name to something with plausible deniability if the story turns out to be bullshit, like Stories by You or something like that, then I think this channel wouldn't be so bad. Then again, this is the best the channel made because the rest is absolute garbage. Like the kid who can't stop eating hamburgers, the usual incel threatening to hurt themselves if I don't date him story, and the Garbo parent stories. The art styles for some of these is pretty fucking ugly, but then again, it's not totally terrible. Not the worst channel here, hence why it's first, so let's keep going. This channel just makes me laugh from how clearly self-aware they are. I don't know if this channel knows they make garbage content but do it anyway because it makes money, or maybe it's an intern who knows they work for a garbage channel, but my gosh, this channel is hilarious from how shitty these videos are. For some reason, all these are super sexual, by the way, and use hilariously censored replacement words like banana, corn, and magic wand. These are all pretty short too, likely why they switched to YouTube Shorts. As an example of Garbo content, let's look at one of their Christmas videos since 'tis the season and whatnot. This kid is in line to see Santa. His mom doesn't have enough to pay for a photo. I don't know why you wait to check if you don't have enough right after the photo is taken, but okay, I guess. The mom whispers something to the Santa, and I guess they didn't have to pay. That's neat. That night, the boy gets up for a glass of water and hears suspicious noises. Thinking it's Santa, the kid runs into the room, and let's just say he found mommy doing more than kissing Santa Claus, if you catch my drift. This is the least terrible one though. There's a lot of really morally fucked up ones, like dads throwing away their daughter's birth control so they get pregnant, guys drugging their dads, babysitters taking advantage of a teen they're babysitting, and so much more that it's actually kind of gross. Maybe I should be careful since the people who run this channel like to get back at people who criticize them by making a story mocking them while using their likeness. I guess if you see me in their videos, you know exactly who they're making fun of. This is just a really weird channel. They're also another one that, in the beginning, was extremely self-aware at the content they were making. I did find content from 2 years ago suggesting they did art-related stuff before turning into a story animated channel, but they since deleted that content, so I can't find it. Not sure why, but maybe they made enough money where they felt the need to. I often see this channel heart comments criticizing this channel and actually deleted a comment they wrote agreeing with the person that it's garbage content. That's interesting, I guess. This one's stories are just fucking wild though. You either get really tame stuff like I'm homeless and pregnant at 16, which yes, is tame in the world of story animated channels, to absolutely wild shit like my brother sold me in Egypt. Sometimes they put weird bonuses like most profitable horror movie ever or something like that. It's really weird and it honestly makes me think this channel was bought out by some company, which I wouldn't be surprised actually. One I did actually like was some overly rich girl whose parents went to jail or something. She's placed in an orphanage and meets a girl who went through way more shit than her, except she starts to really care for her. The girl is gonna get kicked out of the orphanage at 18, so she quit school and got lucky enough to find a high-paying job so her and the girl can live together. I don't know, I thought it was weirdly sweet. I mean, some of these are kind of weirdly sweet like that, but others are just so damn dramatic and stupid that it's honestly hilarious. If you want to know what I mean by dramatic, by the way, I highly recommend the Allergic to Water video. The story for that one, oh my gosh, so much story shoved into 9 minutes, guys. The art style for these videos is not bad sometimes. I mean, it looks like I drew these videos, so I say it's personally not bad. It's alright if you're down for a good laugh. This one is from Russia, I think. Just a fun fact, you can always tell where these story animated channels are from when they talk about a specific country that's not the US all the time. When they do talk about the US, they always apply their country's laws to it, cause like, some of the shit in these stories just don't happen here. Now this one has a horrible, stiff, and generally ugly art style. It just screams clickbait, and uses a lot of reused assets and animations. They're all pretty generic too, like, I suddenly became a millionaire at 14, my friend stole my dad's car, and I left my mom for my dad and spent 3 years without speaking to her. Sometimes the art style changes too, like with Actually Happened, but all of these are fucking ugly. My personal favorite is the one attempting to look like anime though, because it always has an anime character in the background. Let's take a look at My Mom Stole Money from My Dad.
Hi, my name is Helen.
Oh god, what the fuck is that? Good gosh, this looks like a fucking fever dream. I'd also like to point out the hilarious Naruto traceover in the background just so you'll believe this is a real teenager's room. Basically, this girl's mom has been stealing from her dad for years. Finally, it ended in divorce, but the mom hid the fact that her daughters actually got apartments to themselves when they're 18 and said their dad left them nothing. Which, I think in other countries, apartments can be like houses where they're fully paid off. Some apartments, anyway. This girl believed her mom's lies about her dad, so she ignored him and treated him like shit, all the while her mom is actually the shitty one. After failing her college entrance exams or something, she ran away to live with her boyfriend. I guess she felt alone and had enough, so she told her dad everything, I guess? Making amends with her dad, and I guess breaking his hand while she's at it, she kinda realizes her mom is a bitch, and that's it. This channel is weird because they say words, but like none of it actually sticks. It's like those educational videos on PBS or something where you know they're saying words, but you can't grasp any of it because it's just so boring. It doesn't help the English on this channel is just really, really bad sometimes, where it's kind of hard to tell what the narrator is saying, and the English is broken too. Though they stopped uploading about a year ago, so I guess the evil is defeated? This channel is just really, really boring and really clickbaity. The stories in them aren't even that dramatic, in the world of story animated videos anyway. I mean, sure, you have stories about people having shitty parents or siblings, a health issue, and stuff like that. I almost wonder if the reason this channel is so boring because one of the narrators for this is fucking awful. For dramatic stories, anyway. She speaks in a very monotone voice, and I'm sure she'd work for telling something educational, but telling something dramatic like I was buried alive? Yeah, it just makes the video seem really lame for what's happening in said video. That, and they really pad out the wording here. Almost all of their videos feel like something we did in high school when we desperately tried to pad out the wording of our essays. Let's take a look at My Mom Stole My Boyfriend from their Best Animated Stories of April. I'm not sure why, but this video on its own on their channel isn't there anymore. Not sure why. The story is about a girl who's apparently super tall and skinny. Apparently she claims she looks like a spider with a big nose. Weird description, but okay. She has a mom who's apparently absolute perfection, but she's a bitch and also super naive because she thought her college professor would leave his wife for her, so that's pretty yikes. Yeah, so her mom sucks. She's super selfish, basically treats her daughter like she's not even hers, which is the usual shitty parent stuff on these story channels. She does have a friend who's basically like a mother figure, so that's really sweet at least. So when she's 16, she meets a guy who's 4 years older than her. Wait a minute. She's 16 and dating a 20-year-old?
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
I think the real problem here was normalizing a teenager dating a grown-ass adult. Nasty, dude. Nasty. As her very clearly bad relationship is developing, she starts to notice her mom hangs out more and more with her boyfriend, and her mom sends her out a lot to be alone with her boyfriend. Obviously, she walks in on her boyfriend cheating on her with her own mother. Apparently, the boyfriend was in love with her mom the whole time and just used her to get to her mom. Well, her mom tells her not to be surprised because the only reason anyone would date someone as ugly as her is to get to her. Jeez, lady, you could have at least buried her if you're gonna kill her like that. I guess the girl got so upset by this that she tries to take her own life, until her best friend pulls her aside to calm her down. After a year, her friend helps her get a job as a model because her really thin body actually made her the perfect Fashion Week model. At least it's a happy ending for the girl. Apparently her mom married the girl's ex-boyfriend and is in an abusive relationship with him, so that's yikes. Overall, this channel is just really boring. At least the other channels have some flavor to them, whether having ridiculously unrealistic stories or wacky artwork, but this one is just ugly and boring. Behold, the kings of garbage content. This is like the Watch Mojo of story animated channels, and I'm sure you guys have heard of them before from countless videos talking about story animated channels. Though I have to say, I'm impressed with how quickly these guys can churn out content. I mean, where the hell do they even get these stories, and how the hell can these voice actors and artists work this much? Then again, they probably work them all to death by now. You know, I wonder how much these voice actors and artists get paid for this stuff because they have to work like crazy to pump these videos out. Just like Actually Happened, My Story, and Teen Stories, this one has drastically shifting art styles with every video. Unlike those channels though, My Story Animated can go from actually looking really pretty to straight up just ugly town. Another thing is that a lot of these stories, especially their more recent ones, always end with a girl getting a boyfriend or dealing with an evil small child for some reason. The boyfriend part is especially weird to me because it's thrown in last minute. Just when you think the story is going to end normally, there's a throwaway line about how she's now in a relationship with the best guy ever or something. Though some of these are okay story-wise, like My Father Forced Me to Switch 3 Schools Until He Confessed Why is an okay story. Kinda reminds me of those deep stories for kids I used to watch as a kid. Today though, let's take a look at a little story called I Told My Maid I Liked Her, Instantly Regretted It, because oh boy is this one a doozy. Yeah, so this story is about an asshole playboy who's pretty much exactly like his father, who's also an asshole playboy who cheated on his wife multiple times. His dad then asks his son to hook up with the daughter of his rich business partner. His business partner looks very yikes, and frankly this video is too messy to go into why that design is a bad choice. Can I also point out how every single frame of this video is clearly tracing over pictures and animations from actual anime? I'm not sure who the main guy is a trace over of, but his facepalm animation is clearly Haruhi from Oron. After the date with the girl goes wrong because he doesn't think she's pretty, a trace over of William T. Spears arrives to save the day, I guess. This dude is a completely vain asshole though, who only cares about people's looks and whatever satisfies him though. So he's an absolute dick to his mom. I guess after getting kicked out and living with the mom he hates for some reason, his dad invites him back and it turns out he has a new maid. And the maid is a trace over of Sadeo Kawakami from Persona 5. Yeah, so the dude fell in love with his maid, except his dad is making him go out with his other business partner's daughter, who's a trace over of Sonozaki Mion from Higurashi. Yeah, so this girl is the usual crazy girl, and I guess throwing that plot away, he asks out his maid because she helped defend him or something. After she says no multiple times, this dude can't take no for an answer like most assholes, and tries to pressure her into going out with him. Again, she says no. The crazy girlfriend comes back and fakes being pregnant so he'll marry her, because rich people rules. But he quickly calls it off, except the crazy girlfriend told everyone that he was dating his maid, which wasn't true because his maid wasn't interested in him at all. The dad fired the maid as punishment and the asshole guy leaves his dad to live with his mom and her girlfriend. Except his mom's girlfriend mistreats him because she learned he was a filthy cheater. Which he is, so I don't know why he's surprised. I guess he convinces her to be nice to him by playing the sad boy card, so she helps him find his ex-maid. The police then give him the girl's address, which I don't know how. I don't think that's a thing. He comes to her door and asks to be with her, but she says no again because obviously our main character is a selfish asshole, and she tells him that she wants a guy who's genuinely supportive and loving. It ends with the dude heartbroken for 5 seconds, but immediately forgets any semblance of a lesson he could learn by flirting with another girl. Yeah, safe to say the morals on this video are super questionable at times. From what I've looked into, I think this is the only video on their channel with this art style though. Them tracing over anime scenes is not unheard of for this channel though. I feel like the oversaturation of stories makes this channel almost overwhelming. From what I've looked into, they basically upload nearly every day, and a lot of these stories end up repeating themselves because of it. It's always the woe is me girl with the shitty life, or the woe is me guy in really weird situations. Overall, this channel is fucking weird. Like, probably the weirdest out of all the other story channels here, just because of how quickly they can pump out content and how almost suspicious they are. Like, I would not be surprised if this channel shut down out of nowhere, like actually happened for weird tax reasons. To be perfectly honest, if I was still 12 to 14 years old and found these channels, I would have ate this shit up, so I can see where the appeal is. A lot of these stories feel like fanfics written by teenagers, especially My Story Animated and Share My Story. The one thing I find weird is where the hell do they get these stories? There's no way they've got some person chained in their basement churning out these things like crazy, and I really doubt there's that many people submitting stories for this channel through their email provided on the channel. Though I will say that some of these can be entertaining, not because the stories are engaging or interesting, but more for the gosh awful art style and how absolutely insane some of these stories can be. It's definitely super cringy though, seeing all these channels try to market themselves, especially My Story Animated. Gosh, you should see their TikTok because it's just a big yikes for me. That'll be it for this video though. Let me know down below what you thought. This was a really interesting video to do and something I wanted to tackle for fun. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. If any of you would like to help support my channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description, along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who'd like to help with video ideas, or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!